Hello everyone and welcome in yet another instructional video for our English course. This week we'll be dealing with a new unit called Englishes. We'll see in a minute what that could be, but first I want to talk you through a few things. First, note that you can of course print this out and work in it like that, but that you can also just work in it digitally. I don't know for sure how this will work out when schools reopen, but we'll see about that. But it is important that you can make this decision on your own. Print it or don't print it. But remember that you will always need the document in front of you because it contains some links to videos that you will need to do the exercises. That is actually what this first part of the unit on Englishes will be about. A lot of video content and information on our very first topic. The first side is called The Empire Strikes Back and will be mostly about colonialism and what that meant to England, or to the United Kingdom rather. So I stole this title actually from Star Wars films, as you might know, but also secondly from a book that is called The Empire Strikes Back, which is actually a theory of post-colonialism. Now I want to introduce to you this term just yet entirely. Because I guess I will talk it over a little bit when we are in Side 2. Side 2 will be about English in the world, English as a lingua franca. But let's try to dig in this first unit. You'll see that the first question that you get is quite essential to everything. What do you think the title of this unit, the pluralization of this word English, means? Note that it is quite odd to talk about Englishes. We wouldn't do this with Dutch, for instance, verschillende Nederlandsen. That's something we don't do. So what do you think it can mean? Think it over, not talk it over, we're not in class. Think it over and take notes here. So this first question is followed by a few other introductory questions. Now I could go over all of them, but I'm just very briefly going to do that. In the second one, try not to look up, but think of 8 countries where English is an official language. Now, I'm not too sure about what you see here right in front of me, or right behind me rather, but you could find some inspiration there. Then in C, why are there so many countries where English is spoken? That's also very essential. What is your opinion, right, to advantages and disadvantages? And then look up. Now this is really the idea of this unit, that you're going to be put to work and that you take up responsibility for looking up some things yourself. Won't be too much. I'll try to give you the video content where it is necessary, but this is really part of the exercise. So look up the information here, and then in the next exercise you'll get a video. So if you right click this, you can open a hyperlink, and this is actually very specifically a video with some people who are asked what they think of when they hear the words British Empire and Commonwealth. The interesting thing of this video is that these are actual contemporary people who have some sort of influence, either directly or indirectly, of colonialism or the Commonwealth in their own lives. Okay, and that's why that's valuable. Then this clip showed us huge impact of British imperialism on its contemporary demography. Explain that. So just some content, then also some vocabulary exercise. Then do these people, and these are people from that first clip, feel positive or negative about the British Empire? That's the first part. And then the same thing, but then about the Commonwealth. Okay, and this is a word that you've looked up for this previous exercise in E, so that'll be fine. Then we bump into exercise K, and this says have a look at this picture with flags from the former Commonwealth. Can you link them to their contemporary flags below? Add the number. This should be, I'll change that for you. Add the number and add the names of the countries. Watch out. Some numbers fit multiple contemporary flags. Okay, so this, and this is something you should know, is of course the Union Jack. You can see that in in all of these flags, the Union Jack is incorporated. And this is because they are, of course, part of the Commonwealth. you've looked up what that is, so you should be fine here. The tricky part will be here then to link those flags to their contemporary flags, because many of them have changed. But let's think this over. You'll see there are actually 8 flags and 8 flags here. So it might seem reasonable to just add one number for each flag, but you will see that it is a bit more tricky than that. You'll have to look up what, for instance, the Strait settlements were. Or Cape Colony, what is that? So in order to be able to do this exercise well, you'll have to look up a few things again. Write the number that fits here and also write the name of this country. Then you get a longer clip. So again, same thing, you can right click this and then open the hyperlink about British colonial rule and organize the information in the grid. This will actually be a sort of top 10 of atrocities that the British Empire has committed during colonial rule in several countries. The idea is that you're going to organize the countries themselves, or the places, in the left column, and then on the right column you're going to describe what horrible deeds the British Empire did there. And then, so what I really wanted to do with this is confront you with people who actually experience this in one way. So normally you've just seen the video with people that are influenced in one way or another in their direct lives or indirect lives by colonialism, and those are contemporary people. The people over here, and it starts with Chief Kabongo, are actually people who lived during those days. And Chief Kabongo is going to talk over what colonialism meant to his country, which was actually not Kenya at that moment just yet. And you get a few questions with that. So I'm really looking for those testimonies, as you can call them. And note also that it here has a small part with grammar, and this will be continued in another exercise actually. What I also wanted to do is get some video footage of people that actually experienced this. And this clip, which is quite short, is about people from Kenya coming to England, coming to London more specifically, to ask for apologies by the government. And so those are also actually people who bring a sort of testimony. They talk about what happened to them. And then again, you get some questions with that. Okay, so I guess this should take you enough time to get to, let's say, 75 minutes this week, normally 100. For those of you who have 2 hours of English, and those who get 3 hours of English will actually get something else extra. So you can stop here actually. You might feel interested in going on, maybe because you are generally very interested, that would be good, or because, well, you feel like enlightening your work of next week a little bit. And then you can also do that. So it actually continues with arguments for and against colonialism, with a clip here of a professor who will claim that colonialism is actually a very good thing. Now, of course, you can already guess that it's quite controversial, especially when you've seen these testimonies of people that were confronted with colonialism. A second opinion is an article from the Washington Post with criticism of a colleague of this professor that claimed that colonialism was good. This professor of political science is going to debunk the ideas or the theories of the other professor in this quite long and maybe a little more difficult article to read. So here I really want to challenge you and see how you can work with a harder text, a harder journalist article about colonialism. And then it is also followed by some grammar first and a few content questions. This first side finishes with this exercise. Now it is up to you, and you'll have to write a comment on either Ngili's clip or Ken Tammer's article. You'll see. Okay, and then that's the end of the first side. So I chose here to already discuss a few of these first things, but I will go over it next week as well, because as I told you guys, you can stop at the end of page 6. Okay, so normally that should be it. Okay, know that you don't or that you're not able to ask questions during a live session this week. So if you have any, feel free to ask them as a Smart School message. We're here to do that, of course. I'll answer as soon as I can. And that's actually it for now. So try to do these exercises. I hope you're interested at least a little bit, and that next week we'll be talking about first your comment that you will write, and then secondly on English as a lingua franca. Okay, that's it guys for this instructional videos, and thank you and bye.